organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, puppies for sale. Stay tuned to see what one Iowa City animal shelter is doing to get all kinds of four-legged friends in your homes for this Christmas.
And the cold weather results in an overflow at the homeless center. Find out what the City Council is doing to help out the homeless.
And in sports,
men's hoops prepares to take on another in-state foe, the University of Northern Iowa.
We have all this and more coming up.
You're watching Daily Iowan TV.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Nick Fisher.
And I'm Greta Miley.
On Tuesday night, the Iowa City Council voted to support a temporary emergency homeless winter shelter, and local business owners are not happy. Later this week, 37 business and property owners submitted a petition to the City Council asking them to not fund the shelter. City Councilman Terry Dickens said many surrounding business owners have become irritated with the growing number of social services in the area, which could drag down property values.
The space would be offered to serve service-resistant members of the homeless population, not willing or able to stay at the shelter. The shelter would be located in the vacant former Aldi's building on South Gilbert Street. According to officials, dozens of homeless people took shelter in the Iowa City Hall building on cold nights last year. This is something the city is trying to avoid this winter. The shelter would serve the homeless population through the end of February, offering them a warm place to stay on cold nights. UI President Sally Mason sent her semester recap email to students and faculty today. The email talked about the new class of freshman Hawkeyes and the 1,500 students graduating this weekend. Mason also mentioned traditions of free speech, inclusiveness, and moving forward after recent controversy. She ended the email announcing new action steps and initiatives she wants the university to take to continue improving in years to come.
One University of Iowa faculty member is suing the university after she claims she experienced discrimination. Teresa Wagner was transferred from her job in the law school's writing center to a position in the main library. She believes the transfer happened because of her conservative views. State lawyers have petitioned the Supreme Court to dismiss her case, but if it's not dismissed, there will be another trial in March. The UI did an investigation into Wagner's case and found no violation of university policy. Although Wagner sees the new position as a demotion, many university documents have been filed to explain why her new work is important. There were no changes made to her pay or benefits in the transfer.
As University of Iowa students begin to head home for the holidays, there are some furry creatures in Iowa City that are hoping to do the same. Daily Iowan TV's Megan Sanchez has the story.
as the holiday season draws near, the animals at the Iowa City Animal Shelter just want one thing: to be someone's gift so that they can get the gift of going home.
Our capacity here at the shelter is maximum is right around 100 animals. That's really what we are right now this time of year, going into the holidays, and that seems to be the trend for just about every year this time of year.
But luckily, adoptions are up too. Nearly 75% of the animals at the Iowa City Animal Shelter are cats. Another 20% are dogs, and the last 5% is made up of rabbits, ferrets, birds, you name it. It's common for people to want to adopt younger pets, like kittens and puppies.
I think that the animals that are younger and that tend to look more juvenile or young or cuter go faster.
But there can be some benefits to adopting an older furry friend.
If you're not into housebreaking, if you're not into all of those, playful, curious, energetic things that puppies and kittens do, get an older animal. It'll be a wonderful match.
Adoption can be rewarding, and if it's something you're ready for, you can truly make a difference.
You have saved a life. I mean, how much bigger draw can there be? And not only have you saved that animal's life, but by taking that animal out of the shelter, that opens up a cage for a new cat that comes in off the street.
Reporting in Iowa City, Megan Sanchez, Daily Iowan TV.
If adoption isn't something you are able to do right now, the shelter can always use donations such as toys and food.
As finals week comes to an end, students are looking forward to the much-needed winter break. We caught up with a few students to see what their plans are over break. Check it out.
Why do you think break is really important for students here at the university?
Just to kind of give them a time off, think about things like what they want to do.
I mean, to have a break and actually be able to reflect on things and think about it. Sometimes I think you get so busy with school and classes, you don't get to think about the big picture of what you're working towards or what you want to do after you graduate.
I'm most excited for not having finals, obviously. I think that's a lot of people, pretty excited about. And seeing my dog. I just want to see my dog.
You know, Nick, well, I've noticed it's been getting a lot colder outside, and I really don't like the cold. I'm hoping we'll get some snow over winter break.
I couldn't agree more. Tanner Sigworth is standing by in the Daily Iowan Weather Studio. Tanner, can we expect a white Christmas this year?
Yeah, guys, I think I have something for you to look forward to. As this fall semester comes to a close, we have some cold temps and a good chance of snow headed our way. Tomorrow morning, last day of finals, we're going to start off at about 23 degrees. And as we move into the afternoon, we will look to be in the low 30s. Cloudy skies all throughout the day and into the nighttime, where it'll be about 25 degrees for your Friday night. A look at your extended forecast shows that temps will bounce back and forth between low and upper 30s, getting up to 39 degrees for your high on Sunday. And then, we are projecting a good chance of snow for the days leading up to Christmas. About a 70% chance of snow on Monday, 60% on Tuesday, temps staying in the mid-30s those days, and Christmas Eve could see a few flurries as well. So it looks like we can expect a white Christmas. That's all I've got from the weather studio. Have a terrific break, everyone. Back to Nick and Greta.
Sony has officially canceled the release of the movie The Interview after the company was recently hacked. Despite North Korea's lack of internet access, the country is believed to be behind the recent Sony Pictures Entertainment hack. However, the country is insisting it is innocent. Officials say this is the most costly cyber attack to occur in America.
NASA's Orion spacecraft that launched on December 5th is back on Earth again. Orion traveled 3,600 miles into space, and engineers are now inspecting the vessel and collecting all of the data from the sensors. NASA scientists said that because of the success of Orion, future models will help astronauts go to Mars in coming decades. Scientists predict that there will not be another launch like this until 2018.
Well, Greta, it was a pretty disappointing loss for the Hawks last week against Iowa State on the basketball court.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping that they'll be able to get away with a victory with their other in-state rival, UNI.
And to fill us in on this matchup and more, we'll toss it over to Jalen Socek and Danny Payne, who are standing by in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. Guys?
Thanks, guys. We'll also have the preview for Iowa football as they prepare for their final appearance of the season.
But first, we caught up with men's basketball head coach Fran McCaffrey and squad earlier today as they look to rebound from last Friday's 90-75 loss against Iowa State.
The Hawks will face off against the University of Northern Iowa this Saturday night for the third annual Hy-Vee Big Four Classic that features 4 Iowa universities, with Drake and Iowa State also in the mix.
That event that takes place at the Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines was extended for 2 additional years. This year's event is sold out.
McCaffrey indifferent on the decision, saying it's just the next game on the schedule.
I like the fact that it's sold out. I do think from that standpoint, Scott, it's a great thing for a college basketball fan in the state. I think, they're enjoying watching all 4 teams come to one place. But as far as I look at it, it's just the next game on the schedule, and it's always going to be a good team.
But senior forward Aaron White said the event is a good representation for college basketball in the state of Iowa.
I mean, that just tells you where each program is. All 4 of them are very good teams, great fan bases, so it just shows the strides that the college in Iowa have made with their basketball programs, and obviously we're a big part of it, but so are the other 3, and 4 good teams, and it'll be a great event.
The Hawks will tip off against UNI just after 6:30 p.m. Saturday. Iowa has won 6 of its last 7 meetings against the Panthers.
And for many of Iowa's players, it will be a reunion of sorts. Senior guard Josh Oglesby and UNI's Wes Watchman were former teammates at Washington High School in Cedar Rapids.
I've known Wes ever since elementary school, and he's always been a competitive person, and obviously the person you love to have on your team, but hate to play against. But obviously this is the first time I've really played against him.
The Panthers are currently 9-1 and are shooting 49% from the field, presenting another difficult challenge for the Hawks.
They have quickness in the backcourt. They have shooters on the perimeter. They have big guys that can shoot the ball. They have a great post player, probably a guy who's going to be the player of the year in that league, in Tuttle. The thing I think that stands out to me is that they're all in. You know, whether they're experienced or whether it's Jeremy or Wyatt, and the younger guys, they all accept whatever role has been given to them, and they share the ball.
Now, Jalen, in just 2 weeks, the Iowa football team will be preparing to take on the Tennessee Volunteers in Jacksonville, Florida for the Tax Slayer Bowl. Daily Iowan TV's Chelsea Brown has the preview.
The 7-5 Iowa football team has one last chance to end off on a Hawkeye victory and start off the 2015 season with a win if they can do just that against the 6-6 Tennessee Volunteers in the Tax Slayer Bowl.
We're just really thrilled to get the invitation to play in the Tax Slayer Bowl, and it's exciting for all of us, certainly. Excited to match up with an SEC team, Tennessee's team on the rise.
One of the biggest differences between the two teams comes from the experience, with Iowa the veteran group and the Vols making up one of the youngest teams in the nation, relying on numerous underclassmen.
Now it's definitely more significant. I'm looking at my last game of my college career, so you definitely take it a lot more serious. But at the same time, I'm trying to make sure these young linebackers here, this defense is working towards the right direction next year.
It's no secret who the leaders in the trenches are for Iowa, but both defenses have played extremely well this season, with only a 0.1 difference between the two on points allowed per game. And as for the offenses, the run game for both teams plays a significant role in moving the ball. However, with a month off, the Hawkeyes take a different approach to be bowl game ready.
But bowl prep, it pretty much just takes you back to the basics. It takes you back to pretty much like camp. You go back to the basics, do fundamental drills, get the base details of what makes you great worked again. You get that extra month to prepare.
The Vols finished their season with a win against Vanderbilt, but the Hawkeyes, however, lost their last 2 games at home for a combined 6 points, letting the game slip between their hands in the final minutes. For Iowa, it's consistency, something they have strived for all season, that will be the key to finish out the entire game and some of the players' final 4 quarters.
I want to say we're determined. It's, as seniors, it's our last game to play in a Hawkeye uniform, which is, it's hard to believe that, but yeah, I say we're determined. We've had a couple good days of practice already, and we're just trying to improve and move forward.
And Iowa will get their last chance to prove their determination in Jacksonville, Florida on January 2nd. This is Chelsea Brown for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Thanks for that, Chelsea. This will be the 14th bowl game that head coach Kirk Ferentz has taken the Hawks to in his 16 seasons in his position.
That'll do it for this edition of Daily Iowan TV Sports. We'll be back in the studio following winter break.
Until then, you can still get your fix of Hawkeye sports through our sports blog, dailyiowansports.com. We'll have the results from Saturday's game versus UNI, as well as coverage for Iowa's football team's Tax Slayer Bowl game.
We'll also be bringing you coverage as the men's hoop team kicks off their first Big Ten action later this month.
Greta and Nick, back to you guys at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan. Iowa might be the first to standardize digital licenses. Find out more in Nick Moffat's story tomorrow.
And check out what international students are doing over break. And before we leave you tonight, some say caffeine is their drug of choice, especially in the form of coffee. But in Germany, one shipment of coffee contained not only caffeine, but cocaine.
This morning, a Berlin coffee business found the cocaine in a shipment of unroasted coffee from Brazil. Upon opening the shipment, employees found approximately 73 pounds of cocaine in a container of coffee.
Authorities were immediately contacted and said that they are investigating to see who is responsible for getting the drugs into the coffee business. Well, that'll do it for us here at Daily Iowan TV.
This was our final show in 2014, but be sure to check us out in the new year. Our first show back will be on January 19th.
I'm Nick Fisher.
And I'm Greta Miley.
From everyone here at Daily Iowan TV, happy holidays.
Can't pick up a copy of the Daily Iowan? Are you worried about how you're going to find out about the latest news in Iowa City and the University of Iowa? Well, look no further. You can download the Daily Iowan mobile app on your iPhone for the area's best news coverage. And you can also read and watch us on your iPad. You can always find current and past Daily Iowan stories at dailyiowan.com. The Daily Iowan is now on TV, online, and in your pocket.